Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's your pal Eddie here. Uh, on this video I'm going to show you my top 25 movies of the 1970s. This is a community challenge that was created by Tim Talk Talkies. He's done a couple of them already. You know, he did a 90s, he did an 80s, and it was fun. It was fun doing them. I did the 80s one, but I didn't do the 90s. I missed it. And it was fun. It was fun doing them. I saw other YouTubers, videos, and everybody seemed like they were having a good time. They were doing them. So now we're doing the 1970s. So we're Tim Talk Talkies said that he's only going to take from 15 to 1. So whatever your number 15 is, that's going to get a point. Number 14 will get 2 points, and so on and so on. And your number 1 will get 15 points. So, but he said it's okay. You guys can still do a 25, but he's only going to count from 15 to 1. So from 25 to 16, they're not going to get any points. So I'm still going to do a 25, and I'm going to throw in some honorable mentions as well. So let's start off with the 5 honorable mentions that I want to throw off, that I want to throw in first. So these are honorable mentions. You got Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory. That's one that is a classic. If you haven't seen it, you definitely need to check it out. So yeah, Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory. You got the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This one, it's one of my favorite horror movies of all time. If this was a top 25 70s horror, it'll definitely be up there. But there's so many other movies that I would probably rank higher. I mean, I love this one too, and I was like, man, it's very hard for me to rank them. But yeah, that's an honorable mention as well. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We got Star Trek, the motion picture. This is nostalgic. I watched it as a kid growing up. And the first time I saw it, I really didn't get into it. But as I started rewatching it a couple of more times, I liked it, Another one is Bad News Bears. This is another classic that should always, be mentioned. And Jaws 2, definitely a great sequel. Roy Scheider's back in it. You got the original cast, so with new cast members. But this one's great too. All right, now that we got that out of the way, let's do the top 25. My top 25. So number 25, we got Carrie by Brian De Palma. Such a good movie. This one is creepy. It's the ending. The ending still gets me. Like, I still jump when I see the ending. Such a good film. Adaptation of Stephen King. So yeah, Brian De Palma is one of my favorite directors. So he is amazing. Always does great jobs with his films. I like Brian De Palma. So yeah, number 25, we got Carrie. Number 24, we got the Amityville Horror. This one is also creepy, very creepy. The fact that it's inspired by true events makes it even creepier, guys. Probably one of the best ghost stories or ghost, films in, this is probably the best one, in my opinion. You got James Brolin, you got Margot Kidder. The cast is great. There's actually also a remake with Ryan Reynolds, which is okay too. It's pretty good. But this one is the better version, in my opinion, man. This one is definitely a classic. Yeah, the Amityville Horror. That's number 24. Coming up at number 23, we got Saturday Night Fever with John Travolta. This is a good movie. The soundtrack is great. Pure Bee Gees blasting through and through. You got other songs like Disco Inferno by the Tramps, If I Can't Have You by Yvonne Elliman. Great movie. The cast is great. And John Travolta is amazing, man. John Travolta is amazing in this film. So yeah, Saturday Night Fever coming up in number 22. We got number... Oh, I'm sorry. That was 23, guys. 23. Number 22, we got Death Wish with the late great Charles Bronson. Uh, my dad was a huge Charles Bronson fan, so I kind of grew up on Charles Bronson. Uh, so I have nostalgic, and this film is freaking great. He's a badass in this movie. The sequels are really good too, but this one is the one that started it all. So I mean, you gotta have Death Wish in in your top, man. I mean, or at least mentioned. Such a great iconic movie, man. Death Wish. Coming up at number 21, we got Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and I like this box set. Look at that. This is such a amazing movie, man. Such an amazing movie. Uh, Directed by Steven Spielberg. What can you say about Close Encounters of the Third Kind, man? I loved it, man, and the ending, man. When the ending was so good too. The cast is great in this too. It's such a great film, guys. Uh, so yeah, this is another one that definitely should be on your collection, on your top 70's movies. The reason why it's on number what is it, number 21, is because I saw it kind of later. I didn't see it like when I was a kid. I think I saw it like already going in my teenage years. But I liked it, and I liked it ever since. So it's such a good movie, man. Close Encounters of the Third Kind. And Steven Spielberg, man, anything he does is it's really good. All right, coming up at number 20, we got The Omen. Such a creepy movie, man. The kid is creepy, man. And he's got this evil look, man. He's uh, directed by Richard Donner. It's an amazing movie. There's a remake too, but that doesn't even come close to the original. Uh, yeah, this one is the amazing, really scary, and the kid, he's like the son of Satan. Uh, the scene where they're in the cemetery, when they're trying to dig up the coffin or something like that, and they're surrounded by all these Rottweilers. Man, I get goosebumps on that scene, man. Such a creepy scene. Yeah, you gotta have The Omen, man, in your top 25 at least, or at least on honorable mentions, man. Such a good movie, really good movie. Coming up at number 19, we got Escape from Alcatraz with Clint Eastwood. Such a badass movie, man. This movie is great. It's kind of a slow burn, man, but I still enjoyed it, man. It's really highly entertaining, really entertaining. And my dad is also was a Clint Eastwood fan. He was Charles Bronson and Clint Eastwood were his top actors, uh, favorite actors, and this movie was probably one of my favorite movies from Clint Eastwood. I like the Dirty Harry stuff too, man. I really do. But this one is like nostalgic for me because I would rewatch this one constantly growing up, man. This one is so much fun. Really fun. And I heard it was inspired or based on a true story. Can anybody verify that? Because I heard it was. So, yeah, that was Escape from Alcatraz coming up at number 19. All right, number 18. 18, we got Enter the Dragon. With Bruce Lee, man. This is my favorite Bruce Lee movie. His other movies are good too, man. But this is my favorite one because this is the one that I would rewatch constantly growing up. John Saxon is also on this, man. The late great John Saxon, he's right there. Uh, so yeah, man. This one is a badass movie, man. I love this movie. The score is good. The fighting sequence is good. I mean, Bruce Lee, man, he's a badass. So I really enjoyed it as a kid, and then still to this day, man. I enjoy Enter the Dragon. So yeah, Enter the Dragon coming up at number 18. This is from 1973. So yeah, Enter the Dragon. Coming up at number 17, we got The Longest Yard. I actually watched this one earlier today because I missed football and it was Sunday, so I'm gonna watch a football movie. So what other than The Longest Yard with the late great Burt Reynolds, man? And the remake is pretty good with Adam Sandler, but this is I like this version better, man. I don't know why. I like this one better. I guess I don't know. To me, it's the better of the two. I mean, such a good movie, man. It's a blast, and it's got some humor in it. It's got a great cast as well. So yeah, The Longest Yard with Burt Reynolds. That was number 17. At number 16, we got Taxi Driver with Robert De Niro. Jodie Foster is also on this, man. She was so young. I think she was like what, 13 or 14 when she came out in this movie. God, man, so young. Uh, Amazing movie. Such an amazing movie. Robert De Niro is amazing in it. The whole cast is actually great. Uh, so yeah, this is another one that should be on your top 25. I mean, even probably even higher. Now, this one could have been higher, but this is another one that I didn't see early when I was a kid. I saw it like later in my teenage years, so I didn't see it as often. But it's a good one. It is a good movie. Taxi Driver. Coming up at number 15. Now, these are the ones that Tim Talk Talkies is going to start counting from 15 up. So, at number 15, we got uh, National Lampoon's Animal House. This is a blast, guys. One of such a good comedy. It's got a great cast with the late great James Belushi or John Belushi. Is it John Belushi? I'm sorry. Kevin Bacon's also on this. And Stephen First is also on this. It's a very very funny movie, and the Donald Sutherland is also on this. So it's got an amazing cast, guys. I mean, it's got an amazing cast, and it is one of those movies that you can rewatch over and over again. I mean, John Belushi, man, he's great. He's great in it, man. Rest in peace, John Belushi. He died so young, man. He died really young. So yeah, such a pity, man. So yeah, National Lampoon's Animal House. All right, coming up at we are at number 14. We got the American Graffiti. This is another one that's got an amazing cast. You got Ron Howard, Harrison Ford. Man, the list goes on. Cindy Williams. And it's directed by George Lucas. And the cast is amazing. The soundtrack, it's blasting a lot of the 50s jams and early 60s. So it's got a great soundtrack, great acting. So yeah, American Graffiti should also be in your top, you know, 15, man. It's such a classic film. So yeah, American Graffiti. All right, coming up at number 13, we got The Godfather Part 2. Now, I guess this is one that should have been higher, really, but I didn't watch this one as much growing up. But I mean, it is a good movie. I like the fact that it's kind of like a prequel and a sequel. So it's kind of like it has these flashbacks, so it's kind of like both. It kind of works both ways. But it's an amazing movie. You got Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, so one of the best actors, in Hollywood. And my dad is a big Godfather fan too. He especially the original. So yeah, The Godfather Part 2 is at number 13. All right, coming up at number 12 is Smokey and the Bandit. This one is fun. This one's also fun. I mean, you got Jackie Gleason, you got Burt Reynolds, Sally Field. Amazing cast. The Jackie Gleason, man, he's hilarious in this. I think this is one of those movies that you can't remake anymore. That you can't remake. It won't be the same. That's for sure. It would not be the same. So yeah, Smoking the Bandit at number 12. All right, coming up at number 11, we got Grease. What can you say about Grease, man? Olivia Newton-John, John Travolta, Jeff. What's his name? I forgot his name. Jeff. He comes out in Taxi, the blonde guy. I forgot his name. He passed away. Jeff something. Ah man, I went on a blank. Anyway, but it's such an amazing movie. This is another one that can't be remade. You know, it won't be the same. So yeah, this one I watched over and over and over again, and it's still, you can never get bored of Grease. So yeah, that was number 11. All right, coming the top 10. Uh, Here's a top 10, and number 10 we got The Warriors. Uh, oh man, I love this movie. Such an amazing movie. Uh, this Arrow released is also great. I mean, it looks fantastic. It's got an amazing cast as well. It's you know, the the fact that it's one of those movies that also you can't remake anymore. Uh, yeah, the Warriors at number 10. This could have been higher as well. I mean, but man, it's hard to, it was hard to rank them because the next nine are just I they're more nostalgic. But yeah, the Warriors at number 10. All right, coming up at number 9, we got Rocky 2, the sequel to the original. I love it. I love it. I love the towards the end of the fight, where both Rocky and Apollo, they get knocked out. They're both get knocked out, and they're both trying to trying to get up by using the ropes, and and then Apollo slips like in the eighth or ninth count, and Rocky just beats him by a second. Such an iconic moment, man. That part always gets me goosebumps. uh, and of course, he wins the title. You know, so yeah, Rocky 2, man, definitely at number 9. Uh, Such an amazing movie. Number 8, we got Alien. Uh, I love this movie. It's scared the crap out of me when I was a kid. It scared the crap out of me, and it's kind of like a slasher. This thing is in a spacecraft, killing people one by one, until Sigourney Weaver, man, she's the leading actress, man, and she's the one that fights him off, till the death. Uh, I haven't seen it in a while, but I always had fun watching Alien. Such a good movie. This is from 1979, man. It's a really good movie. That was number 8. At number 7, we got The Exorcist. Probably one of the most scariest movies ever made in cinema. Uh, Linda Blair is amazing in this movie. And this one scared the crap out of me when I first saw it. I still to this day, man, it still creeps me out. Certain scenes still creep me out. So yeah, I mean, definitely has to be in your countdown, guys. But then again, a lot of people won't watch this film. That's how scary it is. A lot of people won't watch The Exorcist, and I can respect that. But you gotta admit, man, like it or not, it's one of the one of the best horror films ever made, man. The Exorcist. All right, so that was The Exorcist, and that was at number 7. So at number 6, we got The Godfather, the original Godfather. My dad was a big fan of this movie. Whenever it was on, he would watch it, and I would watch it too, man. And it's just celebrated 50 years, 2 years ago. This was released in 1972, and it's Marlon Brando, Al Pacino, Robert Duvall. Such an amazing cast. Great movie. I mean, great movie. The Godfather. Then you got number 5. You got Jaws, directed by Steven Spielberg. This is another movie that creeped me out as a kid. It scared the hell out of me as a kid. The score, the everything about it, man. You were afraid to go to the water, man. You were actually afraid to go to after watching this, you would get nightmares, man. I don't want to go to the beach. You know, very, very amazing film, you know. And I like the lenticular slipcover there. And, you know, this is the 4K, and it looks amazing on 4K. Yeah, I love Jaws, man. I love Jaws. And you know, this was hard because I could have ranked it even higher, but the rest of the rest of the other four films, man, I was like, man, I like these two, man, but I think I liked them a little bit better. But you know, sometimes my opinion can change. Maybe sometimes if I do this again next year, it'll probably, you know, be higher. You know, sometimes, like, you know, the rankings can always change. All right, so that was number 5. At number 4, we got John Carpenter's Halloween, 1978. Man, I love this movie. This is probably my favorite horror movie of all time. You know, if I were to do a top 70s horror, this would be number 1. Definitely, this would be number 1. I think this is the one that, you know, set the bar for the upcoming slasher films in the 80s. I mean, I know that there's a lot of movies that came out before Halloween, you know, like Black Christmas. I think Black Christmas inspired this movie. But, you know, you had, but this one is, you know, if it wasn't for Halloween, you know, we wouldn't have Friday the 13th. You know, we wouldn't have all these other slashers that came afterwards. So, yeah, at number 4, Halloween. At number 3, 1976, Rocky, the original Rocky. This is an iconic film. You know, Burt Young, Sylvester Stallone does an amazing job. Carl Weathers, rest in peace, who recently passed away. There's the back of it, man. Looks cool. I love Rocky, man. I can never get tired of it. Can never get tired of it. I think it's probably one of Sylvester Stallone's best films. You know, best franchise. So yeah, Rocky, definitely a classic, and that's at number 3. All right, so we got 2 more, and can anybody guess what they are? At number 2, we got Superman from 1978. Superman, with Christopher Reeve. He will always be my Superman. Margot Kidder will always be my Lois Lane. Gene Hackman will always be my Lex Luthor. You can't beat that, guys. This is an amazing film. Probably my first superhero movie that I ever saw as a kid. I saw this one at the theaters when it came out. I was like 6 years old and loved it, you know. And Christopher Reeve can play both Clark Kent and Superman so well. He was perfect. He was perfect for the roles. So yeah, coming up at number 2, the 1978 Superman the movie. Awesome. And number 1 is Star Wars. 1977 Star Wars. Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, Mark Hamill. Everybody was great in it. Everybody was fantastic in it. I saw this as a kid and was hooked on it. You know, I started collecting everything Star Wars. You know, the toys, the action figures, the spaceships. I had coloring books. I had lunch boxes, shirts, everything Star Wars. Me and my brothers became Star Wars freaks. My room was full of Star Wars stuff. This was like my favorite film of all time. So definitely had to be my number 1 of the 70s. You know, Empire Strikes Back was my number 1 of the 80s. It was number 1. So yeah, that's my number 1, Star Wars. So there you have it, guys. Those were my top movies from the 1970s. I hope you enjoyed it. I had a good time doing this community challenge. Go over at Tim Talk Talkies, man. He's got a great channel. He's got great stuff every time going on. I posted his link to his channel on my description down below. So be free to check that out. So you can follow me in Letterboxd, Instagram, Facebook. I'm also there, guys. So thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking around, and I will see you in the next one, man. Thanks. Bye.